It's round 12 of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship. We're at the circuit of Loket, and the circuit here is pretty much on three levels. We have the start, which is on the mid-level, and after a few turns and ups and downs, we reach the highest point of the circuit just after the finish line, and then we end up coming back all the way down here, almost into the town itself, as we reach the bottom end of the circuit. And what brings us here is a right-hander into the double-double, the downhill waves, and it's pretty fast down here as well. As I said, it's downhill, fast, high speed, into the face of the Monster Energy tabletop jump behind me. It's about 18, 19 meters long, something like that. And there's not that much elevation, but the riders are still going to have to work pretty hard in order to scrub off that speed, because as soon as they do land, it's hard on the brakes, third, second, maybe even first gear to reach that next corner. And we've seen in the past how riders, if they mess up coming down through these wave sections and get offline, they're an easy prey and an easy target to be passed in that right-hander just the other side of the jump. So keep your eyes peeled for a bit of action this weekend around this part of the circuit. Well, the start is probably the most important part on any racetrack, but especially here because we've got a start straight that's really long, almost 100 meters, something like that. The bonus is that it is flat all the way across, but we are coming into an uphill, off-cambered 180-degree turn, which means the guys up the inside who are going to race for that pole position in their qualifying heat race, they might have the advantage, although because it's so flat and so long, the inside is not necessarily an advantage. If you have a quick motorcycle, you can get out of the gate even from 9 or 10 gates across and then manage to bring yourself gradually across to the inside, and that's what most riders will do. If you don't make a good start and you're up the inside, you'll hope just to brake a little bit early, hold a nice tight line and get back on the gas and head for the straight going in the opposite direction. If you do make a good start, you can pretty much control it from wherever you are. If you're 10 or 11 gates over, as we just said, you can squeeze the guys on the inside. If you're in those first couple of gates, you can push the guys out just to give yourself a bit more room, and that will open the corner up nicely for you. But what we do see, and we see it almost every year, guys who think they can make the start from the middle or a little bit further out try to come across here. Guys who try to get it from gates 10 or 11 and they're being out-dragged from the guys in the first few gates, they also try to push and get to this first corner here, and of course the inevitable happens. Guys come together, guys get pushed wide, and they end up going all the way out to the outside and going down. 4, 5, 6, 7 riders sometimes, and if they don't go down there, they probably go out just coming out of here as riders start to tighten up and guys start to push out this way. So the start here, very important for those reasons, and yeah, just keep an eye out for it because it's always hotly contested, this first turn here in Loket. Here's what happened round 12 of the FIM MX1 and MX2 Motocross World Championship, the Casino Bonva Grand Prix of the Czech Republic. Jose Boutron found himself taking a hole shot from Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, Jeffrey Hurlings and Jake Nichols in the early stages of the moto, with Tommy Searle buried way down the order just outside the top 20, but he fought through, did Tommy Searle, and eventually found his way past Zach Osborne to move inside the top 5. Eventually he was able to catch the likes of Boutron and Jake Nichols to move into third place as Jeremy Van Hoorbeek came under pressure and was soon passed by the number 84 of Jeffrey Hurlings. And Hurlings would go on to win the race from Tommy Searle, with Jake Nichols taking third. It was a DNF for Van Hoorbeek. MX2 race 2 was a bit more eventful as the number 89, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, found his way into the lead. Hurlings was second, but then went down, challenging his teammate, who took a look over his shoulder to see what all the drama was about. Searle moved ahead of Valentin Tellier and then pulled this move on Hurlings as he went down for second position. Tommy Searle, though, soon got caught by Jeffrey Hurlings in the later stages of the race, and the battle then was on between these two guys. A little bit cat and mouse ensued, but eventually it was Hurlings who did go through with this manoeuvre here up into second position. The big question at that point, though, was whether he could find a way to close down his teammate, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Van Hoorbeek got held up temporarily by a back marker, and that was allowed Hurlings to go through around the outside, but it was a little bit too easy for him as well. His teammate pretty much moving over for him. But Hurlings, though, went on to win the race. He won the overall Grand Prix as well. Jeremy Van Horbeek was second in the moto. Tommy Searle hit the wall in third, and that was the overall Grand Prix. Jeffrey Hurlings, Tommy Searle, and Zach Osborne taking his first overall podium since he came back in Sweden, round 9. And of course, going into the Great Britain round 13 in 2 weeks' time, Hurlings still the championship leader in MX2.
Yeah, it was good. I felt really good the first half. I didn't get the best of starts, and then Jeffrey made a little mistake, and I managed to get behind him. But then I tried to pass at the beginning lots of times, and then I just ran it in pretty hard up the inside on the start turn. And he went down. I mean, I didn't. I guess I tried to make the pass because I was tired of being behind. But then I tried to push, and then I just hit a wall. Like, fair play to him, because he came through and fought the whole way and beat me straight up. So good ride for Jeffrey, and yeah, I struggled with that motor.
Well done. Of course, next time we'll see you at your home race.
Thank you.
In MX1 race 1, Tony Cairoli took the whole shot in his Red Bull KTM from Christophe Pourcel, Xavier Bourg, Gauthier Paulin, and Max Nagel, who returned from injury. Nagel, though, was the one who showed the most intent as he battled first with Xavier Bourg and then Gauthier Paulin. Once he found a way through on Paulin, he moved himself into third place. But by then, Tony Cairoli and Christophe Pourcel were pretty far up the track and went on to dominate. But Nagel had a great ride in third place. Clément de Salle, though, had a bad start and gated way outside the top 10. Came from 9th in the end to take 4th. But it was Tony Cairoli who went on to win Moto number 1 from Pourcel. Just like MX2, MX1 was pretty interesting as well, as the lead was contested between 4 riders, but it was Max Nagel who was our early race leader and led actually for about 8 laps of the 21. Eventually he got caught and passed by Clément de Salle, and at the same time Tony Cairoli moved ahead of Christophe Pourcel to go into 3rd position. At this point Max Nagel started to fade, and Cairoli ran an aggressive move down the inside of his teammate to go 2nd, and then he thought about going down on, or closing down the gap to Clément de Salle. The two almost banged bars and went down as Cairoli went through, but once there, Cairoli was never headed and led from lap 13 to 21. Pourcel had passed Clément de Salle about half a lap early before going down there. He dropped to 4th and eventually found himself back on the rear wheel of Max Nagel with about 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go. Eventually Pourcel went through, so at that stage it was Cairoli, de Salle, Pourcel and Nagel. But Tony Cairoli, though, went on to win the 2nd moto of the day. He secured the overall Grand Prix victory, extends his lead in the championship by 30 points, and more importantly, wins his 50th Grand Prix here at the Casino Bomba Grand Prix of the Czech Republic in Loket. And of course, he still leads the championship. Dr. Wolfgang Schrub on hand to give him another red plate, as he is still the championship leader as we go to Natalie Basin, the Grand Prix of Great Britain in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, that was close. That was, like I said, the first motor was really slippery, and second motor was the same. So we had a good motor. We were 4 riders, and it was good. And then Antonio passed us, and it was really close to get the win for this motor. But you know, I'm gonna walk out for 2 weeks with the team and try to get a win before the end of the season.
Thank you, Christoph.